So, hello everybody, good afternoon. This is a channel of Patriots from Spain, and today we have an honor. We are proud to have here, just after the Super Bowl is over. We are on the next season, and when you talk about the next season in February, you need to talk about cash space, and the one and only to talk about cap space about our team. New England Patriots is our great fan, our great friend, Miguel Benzan. Hi, Miguel. How are you? Welcome.
Doing terrific this fine morning. It's a 6 hour time difference, so here it's 10 o'clock in Connecticut. Thank
Okay.
you for the honor. And I,
It's
I love the fact you referred to me as Don on the on Twitter. I just love that. I appreciate that. My mother and father are from Dominican Republic. My mother and my father have visited Spain. I appreciate. I'm an honor to be on this podcast.
No, and the honor is on our side, clear. So to have you here, and the treatment of Don or share or however you did is because you are the reference for the Patriots Cup, and for us it's an honor to have you here. So is it Twitter? This is your first time. You told me, but anyway, it's like a podcast, but with images, and we are streaming in direct. But everything is
Yeah,
it's
I,
okay.
I can't wait to see what it looks like. I never
Okay.
listen. I never listen to my podcast appearances after I'm on them, but this might be the first. I'm going to show my mother because my mother knows what I do,
Okay.
and I'm going to show my mother this, and
Oh.
she'll be like, "What?"
So we can speak and say something in Spanish to your mother if you want
Yeah,
afterwards.
if you please do. I'd be honored if you would do that for me.
Okay, right. How is called your mother?
Alta gracia,
Alter
alta gracia.
Alter Gracia.
Yeah.
Ok. Altagracia, muchas gracias por tener un hijo como Miguel. Es un honor para los que seguimos el fútbol americano y el CAP para nosotros. Y es un honor incluso a 6 horas de diferencia y a miles de kilómetros tenerlo aquí dándonos, bueno, lo que para él es un hobby y para nosotros es casi una pasión, que es el fútbol americano y New England Patriots. Muchas gracias. So, more or less, I have to. Could you
Yeah.
understand?
Yep, I understand. I don't speak Spanish, but I understand Spanish.
Okay, good. So, my idea was to try to enjoy. I think is the best point that we had at least 2 years ago with my colleagues.
Yes.
My colleagues
Yeah.
couldn't attend today, but we will try to do it as better as with them without them. Okay.
Yeah. Last time was like 4 or 5 people. It was fun.
Yeah, so it's people working, people
Yeah.
Saturday with the family. It's not so easy. But anyway, for me, it's an opportunity. So let's go to the cap. So
Yes.
the main question, and the most difficult question, but it's easy for sure for you, is why this year we have only 5 million, which is normally the one value that we have at the end of the free agency and prior to
Hmm.
the start of the season. We have a very very low cap space value, and this could limit us, I think. What do you think?
Okay. The major reason that they have so little cap space this year is, remember, in 2020 they ended the year with about $19 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2021 they ended the year around $100,000 in cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So you're only carrying over $100,000 in cap space. While the league cap is going up by over $27 million, the Patriots' adjusted cap number is only going to go by $6 million. All right, because the Patriots' adjusted cap, every team's adjusted cap number is made up of three numbers: the league cap number, what you carry over in cap space, and adjustments for incentives.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In 2021, the Patriots' adjusted cap number was very high compared to the rest of the league because they carried over that $19 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Patriots are one of the I think the second lowest or the third lowest in terms of carrying over cap space this year. They also have a lot of veterans already signed for this year.
Yeah.
While they have 14 free agents,
Yeah.
they also have 58 players already signed for this year, next year. So, in some of those free agents that we'll talk about are some players that you can let go, and some of the players, and a big reason, the other main reason for the lack of cap space this year is they signed a great number of players last year to deals that had low cap numbers in the first year. A lot of the players had a $1 million salary last year. All right, so then now their salaries exploded, greatly increased into this year. Like Matthew Juno had a $1 million cap hit last year. Now he has. Oops, I'm gonna do it quickly as I switch over to my notebook. $11 million. I'm going off the top of my head without looking. Yes, $11 million. All right, so his salary increased from $1 million to $11 million in 1 year. Hunter Henry from 1 to 9. Nelson Aguilar from 1 to 9. John O. Smith from 1 to 9. Isaiah Wynn's cap hit went up by over $9 million
for the 5th year option. Yeah,
because of the 5th year option. So you have that factor going in. So even though the salary cap went up by a lot, you had that offset by increased salaries and less carryover space. So and the Patriots not that I try to keep track of the incentives. They're going to have a less. Last year in 2021, they had an adjustment about $3 million. I'm expecting them $2 million. So that's a $1 million difference there.
Okay, so basically what I understood is the kind of contract that we had from last year that we have put some money into this year, or not some, a lot of money.
Yes, a lot.
so many.
Say a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'd say a lot.
Yeah, but also I was surprised when preparing this stream that we had a lot of also dead money. It's just from correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just from Patrick Chang or Devin McCourty boy years and something like that.
Okay.
But so, it's around 10 million, and it's also a big figure.
Right. Let's Devin McCourty out of that equation because his deal voids. Right?
Okay.
His deal is not that his deal hasn't voided yet.
Okay.
So until it voids, it actually is not dead money. So I put it in a separate category.
Okay.
The Patriots only have about $3.1 million in dead money right now.
Okay.
Right? And they only have 4 plays. It's Patrick Chung, Will Sherman, Calvin Munson, and Trey Nixon.
Okay.
And Trey Nixon. Those are the only 4 plays who make up the dead money. Devin McCourty is a special case because his deal voids. If he doesn't change his deal before 4 p.m. March 16th, then the $6.45 million counts as dead money. If he was to restructure his deal, then you would keep $4.3 million signing bonus proration on the 2023 cap and the 2024 cap, the $1.45 million each year. So you could actually lower his cap number from $6.5 million to like $4 or $5 million, or have him count the $6.45 million on the roster as being off the roster.
Okay, so one of the possible options that we will discuss afterwards could be an extension, because it's free agent, but to sign Devin McCourty and create some kind of structure in order to decrease the cap, isn't it? So it was one of the options.
It's definitely a possibility for him.
Okay.
Especially since he wants to play.
yeah. It's a lot. So it's not a lot of money to put it on a free agency, but
now.
Yeah. This is the question. What kind of moves or what are the big moves? You have it on your Twitter, but anyway, just you to have the opportunity to explain. You have Isaiah Wynn for trade, Nelson Aguilar, etc. What are these kind of moves that we can see from now till 16th of March?
Do you want to be conservative, or do you want to be go crazy.
What are your feelings? Because it's another question.
Okay. So what I think the Patriots going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. What I think the Patriots going to do is they're going to convert most of Matthew Judon's $11 million salary into a signing bonus.
Okay.
And so that would lower his 2022 cap number by around $6.643 million, but increase his 2023 and 2024 cap numbers by about $3 million. All right. But I
Okay.
still, even with those higher cap numbers, I still think he's going to be a bargain as compared to the top edge rushers in the league. All right. That's one thing I think they're definitely going to do. All right. Hunter Henry last year was signed to a 3-year deal. Most of the players that the Patriots signed last year were signed to 4-year deals. You can extend him one more year at the same API, $12.5 million, and create $5 million in cap space. All right.
Okay.
Jake Bailey, who was selected to the Pro Bowl not in 2021 but in 2020. All right. Because he did that, and then because of the new provision in the collective bargaining agreement, his salary actually goes up from $965,000 a year to $3.98 million. All right. If the Patriots think that he is going to play in the future like he played in 2020, they could have reached an extension with him, lowering his cap number by about $2.4 million. If they don't think that he's going to play that well, all right, they could cut him and trade him and create about $3.1 million.
Okay.
$3 million in cap space.
So.
All right. So those are the three. I like to go with three. All right. So those are the three most likely.
Okay.
There are different other ways to create cap space, and we could talk about them. But those are the three most likely. Some other things they could definitely do is like N'Keal Harry's not. There's no chance that I don't think N'Keal Harry's on this roster on draft day.
Yeah.
So if they cut him, they create about $400,000 in cap space. All right. If they are able to trade for him, they get about $1.2 million in cap space, and the difference is because it's guaranteed salary.
Okay.
So if they cut him, you have some dead money because it's guaranteed salary. Then you would hope someone would sign him, and then you would get a credit on the 2023 cap.
So basically we are not in so many big problems, so we will create some margin.
I can do this I'm doing this as a hobby, right?
Okay.
I'm doing conservatively. I get to $41 million in cap space. If I wanted to say, hey, I get to 65 if I'm willing to make some cuts and cut some starters out there. So I get to 40, and I think I get to 50, depending on, we could decide, like, you can say, Miguel, I'll throw you a plan. You say, hey, you give me a player. You say, what? I can tell you how much cap space we want. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Jalen Mills, do you want to convert salary? All right? That's $2.3 million in cap space. Okay. That's a yes or no. You know, so Bill could say, do you want me to do that? Yes or no. That's his choice.
Okay.
Right? Devon Garshaw, you can extend him, create $2.7 million in cap space. You could cut him and create $4.3 million in cap space. Or you could trade him and create even more cap space because he's got guaranteed salary. The Patriots have several options to create cap space. I don't know what way they do it. They're not going to tell me what they're going to do, but I think they have this worry because they have $5 million cap space now on February 19th is immaterial because on March 16th, that number is not going to be $5 million.
Yeah.
If it's $5 million, that means they signed several players who are free agents.
Clear. It's clear. If last year's the New Orleans Saints could do whatever they do, yeah, so it is manageable. The cap space is manageable. I think
it's manageable, and it's when you have a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
A good rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. You need to take advantage of that. And then excuse me, I drink some water, Tom Brady.
No, take it. No, avocado chew or only water?
Only water. Only water. It's 10 o'clock. I'm not drinking. I don't mind listening to this. I'm not drinking.
So, one of the names that you have mentioned, but it's not, you have not, let's say, do it in deep, is Nelson Aguilar, and it's one of the players that at least the Spanish colleagues, let's say, that are less comfortable with the, how to say it, with the way he has performed this year.
Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so Nelson Aguilar, all right. So you get three options with Nelson Aguilar, all right. You can cut him, all right, and that create about $4.1 million in cap space. You could hopefully but you could cut him now, all right? At any time. If you trade him, you have to wait till the start of the league year in March 16th. And that would create about $9.2 million in cap space, all right? Or you could extend him and create $3.94 million in cap space. So between cutting him and extending him is around the same amount of money.
Okay.
Except if you cut him, all right, you hope that he signs someplace else and then you get a credit on the 2023 cap.
Okay.
Okay. So those are the choices they have. I doubt, I'll go on record, I doubt that he'll be on the Patriots Week 1 roster at his current cap number. And his current cap number, I will go on record that he will not be on the Patriots at his current cap number of $14.882 million.
It's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot, and I've always had my theory is why he got so much money is that the Patriots agreed with him on a deal the first day of legal tampering. Yeah. And then they found out later that the wide receiver market wasn't as strong as people expected. But they already they had to keep their word.
We have had also the theory on inside Spain that his agent, it's Rosenbaum, something like that. You know who is?
True. I should keep track of the agents, but I don't because
I can.
They actually don't say anything much on Twitter.
Yeah.
Anything useful on Twitter.
Yeah, but his agent. I think he's also responsible for Hunter Henry and for other guys, and we think that, let's say, it was like a kind of package, and putting more on here and less on that, and something like that.
He's got several Patriots players as clients.
Yeah, Gronkowski is also one of his clients.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not. He has the most clients out of any NFL agents, which I don't get because I thought the Rob Gronkowski deal was horrendous with the Patriots. Horrendous. You should never sign such a long-term deal.
Yeah.
And then for him to keep on asking for them to restructure. Come on, that was a bad deal on your part.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, fully agree. I think he always signed by less that he could get, but our friends, this agent and Belichick are friends, so let's see how.
It's as good a theory as any.
Yeah. This is clear. So coming in the middle, so let's mix because the offensive coach situation that we have, do you think could be affecting the cap management, how we manage this cap year, or do you think
I think what happens with the coaches has nothing to do with the cap. It's a separate identity. It's like having I have an LG washer and I got an LT TV. They have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Nothing to do with each other.
So,
okay. The theory is I'm not even address it has nothing to do with it because the other stuff, some stuff I'll talk about. I'll talk about this. I think the idea that the Patriots want to spend less on the coaches so they can give more money to Bill Belichick is so idiotic. It's not worth my time. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fully agree.
That's all I want to address, and we'll move on.
So do you think that even without Josh McDaniels and all the issues that we are going, it seems to have in the offensive side of the coaching, even if we thought that we were expecting to sign a big guy like Chris Godwin or Allen Robinson or whoever, let's say, do you think that the plan is going to be kept even with another
I
coach?
think Bill Belichick is the head guy. What he decides is what the Josh McDaniels would have done anyways.
Yeah.
So if Bill Belichick wants to get a Chris Godwin, it didn't matter who the offensive coordinator would be. If that's what Bill wants, that's what he's gonna happen. I mean, the guy Josh McDaniels probably has more. Will have Bill probably listen to Josh McDaniels more than the new guy, because he's had a longer relationship. But at the end of the day, Bill's the one who's making a decision. All right. So I think it doesn't matter. At the end, it doesn't matter who the guy is.
Yeah. So you are one of the guys that are thinking that Bill Belichick will be the offensive coordinator next year too.
I think that it's going to. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I might be. I don't. But I'm one of those guys. But I'm thinking if I'm Mac Jones, I think I'm in pretty good hands.
Yeah. I think are the better hands.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if the background is defense, I think Belichick could develop also. Mac Jones, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it's one of those things like now in February, we don't know what's going to happen, which makes it exciting to be a fan. Like, and why be a fan of something that you think is going to happen 7 months from now? It's like we get to look forward to this in training camp, in the regular season. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm a big fan of baseball. I know there's a limited amount of teams who can win the World Series. In the NFL, there isn't. Any team we see with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Within 2 years they got to a Super Bowl. So we don't know. For me, that's part of exciting of being a fan. Is going to see what happens with Mac Jones on the offensive game. I'm not gonna. I got other things in my life to worry about than who the offensive coordinator is going to be.
even if they name Matt Patricia, for example, you will not be worried about.
Okay, so what? I'm like, he curses way too much for my liking. my mother and I, he would kill my mother and I because he swears like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm expecting to have Belichick instead of this kind of rare names like Patricia. I think.
We'll see.
For the I was thinking because it was so less cap that how much even we need. Even if, let's consider or let's assume that we are not going to do anything and we keep these 5 millions and it could be enough to get the draft signs.
No, that's not that $5 million. That's why we know the Patriots are going to do something because the Patriots don't have enough cap space to last the rest of the year. And we can talk about that. Let's pretend that the Patriots don't make any trades of their draft picks.
Okay.
It would cost them $2.8 million in cap space to sign their draft picks. Okay. Right now, they only have on their books 51. They have 58 players signed, but only 51 salaries count against the cap. Right now. Okay. After roster cutdowns, the salaries of players 52 and 53 will count against the cap. So that's $1.41 million. All right. Then you get the practice squad guys. That's around $3.5 million. Then you elevate 1 or 2 practice squad guys during a year. That's about $500,000. They have the potential to lose $1.6 million in cap space as players with non-likely to be earned active roster bonus earn them. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we know that football is not a contact sport, but a collision sport.
Yeah.
All right? So you have to replace injured players. So you need to have about $5 million from the time of training camp to the end of the season to replace those players. All right? So that liability. Oh, and I have a positive number, so I should have a negative number. Sorry. Is about $15 million.
Okay. Oof.
Oh yeah, $15 million. So they're already $10 million short of what they need to operate the rest of the season.
Okay.
So that's why I know the Patriots are going to make moves.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and I should point out that at roster cutdowns, we hope that the guys who are the lower round draft picks, some undrafted free agents, beat out players with higher salaries and now create cap space. I usually put around $2 million. So the Patriots actually probably need about $13 million in cap space. They're short right now.
So in your opinion, we will create from now till 16th March around 25, 30, no, 35.
No, they see the funny thing is they don't have to sign the draft picks until June 1st.
Ah, okay, they can play.
Right before training camp. And all this stuff about roster cutdowns happens in September. They just need to have that cap space then. They don't need to create cap space now for stuff that's going to happen in June and July or September. But eventually they need to be able to create that cap space. And once the season starts, it's hard to create cap space because you can't cut most veterans because of the termination pay benefit because it's guaranteed. So you have to make so you need to leave yourself the flexibility before the season starts because you can't, like, if if Nelson Aguilar is on the roster week 1, you can't cut him then. There's no point in cutting him because his salary is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right? So you need that flexibility. So they got to create cap space between now and March 16th, not for the in-season operating expenses, but to sign free agents.
Okay, so it seems that all those big contracts like Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Matt Judon were created to be redo this year. It seems.
It definitely seems that they planned to restructure a couple of deals this year. I don't know how many, but I will be surprised if they don't restructure a couple of those deals this year.
Okay.
It does seem that and it makes sense because the way the cap went out. Like last year, the cap dropped from the previous year. This year, the cap went up, and they expect to go up again in 2023, 2024. So it makes sense for them to do that.
Okay.
I don't know if their plan in February of 2021 is that we're going to draft Mac Jones at 15. All right? And they're going to get a guy. Maybe their plan all along was to get a quarterback at 15 and then have him, Cam Newton, as a one-year deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was the plan.
Okay. Yeah.
If that was the plan, God bless him. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would be great. So, JC Jackson, for me, I think there are two options. Franchise tag, because I don't see a big long-term contract. I don't know, your opinion. Or let him go, as, for example, we made with Malcolm Butler, something like that. Just comparing the situations. What do you think and the impacts on cap on both situations?
Okay. Right now, J.C. Jackson counts 0 against the cap.
Yeah.
Because he's a free agent. So Patriots have three options with him. They can extend him right now to a long-term deal. All right? Let's say they can't reach an agreement on a long-term deal. They could tag him by the deadline of March 18th, which would be around $17.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And then if they do that, they have until July 15th to reach a long-term deal with him. All right? Or they could tag him and then hope they could someone will trade for him. All right? It's been a while where a player who's been tagged has been traded for. But then we've seen like Jalen Ramsey getting traded for. We've seen Jamal Adams get traded for. So we've seen teams give up a couple of first-round picks for players.
Matt Castle, we made it with Matt Castle too.
Yeah, well, okay, yes, but we've seen that happen. So we don't. So those are the three choices. Those are three options the Patriots have. If they trade him, if they're able to tag and then trade him, the trade doesn't occur until March 16th. So you're not trading him to get underneath the cap because you have to be already underneath the cap at the start of the league year. But it would create over $16 million in cap space, and there'd be 0 dead money.
Okay.
With the trade. Those are options. I'm of the opinion that because they have so few cornerbacks signed for the future.
Yeah.
All right, and then that they're gonna extend him. Eventually extend him. I don't know when the extension will happen, but I think they will extend him. I will say this. I was wrong about Tom Brady. I was wrong about Stephon Gilmore. Okay, so my track record.
Me too.
So my track record has not been good lately.
Yeah. We need a crystal ball.
My crystal ball is horrendous. I gotta get a new one. I gotta buy a new one.
Me too.
Okay, yeah. So that's, I think it's possible. I think it's possible for the Patriots to sign. The other question is, can they sign J.C. Jackson and then get another big name free agent? I think it's possible to do that.
Yeah, but technically, let's say, or in the level of playing, the issue is I'm not sure if Belichick considers J.C. Jackson as a top 5 cornerback in the league to pay whatever he thinks he wanted to get it, and the issue is that he can get it, and I'm not sure Belichick thinks he is one of these. So this is the issue.
We don't know what Bill thinks of J.C. Jackson. We do know that he offered him. We hear reports he offered him a deal during the season. All right. If Bill doesn't have a choice right now, if J.C. Jackson is get franchise tags is $17.287 million, that puts him in the top 5.
Yeah.
Clear. So if you're gonna, and remember, so J.C. Jackson, once he gets, and it counts against the cap as soon as you tag him, right? In order for him to be traded, J.C. Jackson has to sign the tag. So he can't get traded to some team that he doesn't want to be traded to.
Yeah.
So he can. So you tag him, you have to come over. He has to agree to be traded to that team, and he's probably not agree to be traded to that team unless he gets a deal from that team what he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same situation we had. I think it was who. No, J.C. Jackson also last year with the franchise. With the tender. The second round tender was like that. I think he was not signing and waiting for a different offer, and finally he signed. I think so.
Yeah. So I know, like I said, I've said this on a couple of podcasts. Last year, the 31 other teams were able to whisper, J.C. Jackson, if you do well in 2021,
yeah,
how much would it pay you in 2022? He knows what he can get.
Yeah,
he already knows that. He already knows that.
Yeah.
And people may disagree that say that he's not a top 5 or he's not that good. It doesn't. What a player gets on the market isn't a reflection of his ability. Is more a reflection of his ability of being available to be signed.
Yeah.
And law of supply and demand. There are not that many young, talented cornerbacks hitting the free agent market this year.
Yeah.
He's going to be the top guy.
Yeah.
And so therefore his value, especially if Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers gets tagged, he might be the only really guy who's going to get anywhere close to the top of the market money.
Yeah, clear. So market is, sometimes we discuss about quarterbacks, if they value or not the money that they are taking, but at the end the market is also referring to availability, and at the end J.C. Jackson is providing to you a lot of interceptions, at the end a level that maybe is not top 5 maybe, but he can be a good cornerback 1, and there are not so many available.
And it's hard to get those guys.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll say, and how many quarterbacks do you have the Patriots sign for next year, for 2023? 2. Jalen Mills and Sean Wade.
Yeah.
So he has, in terms of roster, he has a lot of leverage that way. Because if you let him go, you're building around your 23 cornerback team roster around those 2 gentlemen right there.
Yeah. Clear. So, coming back to the free agency.
Okay.
So, do you think that we can do a big movement? So we can. So Belichick is seated
Yes.
in his chair and thinking, I have Mac Jones. I have already 70 years old. So this is my my third dynasty to be created. So I will go all in and go for Chris Godwin or Calvin Ridley, Allen Robinson, someone like
Okay. So
that. So is it
okay.
possible? Is it feasible?
Let's forget about the trading for players.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's. Let's say I don't think it's probable that the Patriots will beat out half the teams in the NFL in a draft bidding war for players because they have such. While they only have 6 draft picks. They're in the bottom half of the draft capital.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, the Lions have 3 picks in the top 34 picks.
Yeah.
All right. The Broncos have 3 picks in the top 64. All right. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks. The Jets have several picks in the first 2 rounds. The Giants have several picks in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
As I don't think that it's. I would not build my off-season plan and saying the Patriots gonna trade for Calvin Ridley or trade for player X when there's other teams who have the same need for Calvin Ridley. All right, will have better draft picks.
Yeah.
As for free agency, I said this before. I think they can sign J.C. Jackson to a long-term deal and sign another player to a at least a $10 million API deal, maybe even closer to $15 to $20 million. But that player would have to sign a deal that's different than the Patriots have been doing. Last year they signed players all the 4-year deals. I think if they want to sign like a Chris Godwin, an Allen Robinson, if you want to sign a big player, you could probably sign them to a 5-year deal. All right, get that extra year of signing bonus proration. All right, which would lower his cap number. All right, or you would sign him to way back in the day when I would start doing the covering the salary gap in the early 2000s, where they use an option bonus, where they give the player a 2022 signing bonus, which would be traded for 5 years, and then signing bonus for 5 years, and an option bonus in 2023 that would be prorated for 4 years, and it'd be guaranteed. Like you would say, like his salary in 2023 would be $50 million, but if we pick up the option, we drop his salary down to $1 million. So he's picked up that option gets picked up.
Uh-huh.
All right, that's if they could definitely do it, and especially if we go aggressive in who we cut. So if you're willing to create some holes in some spots, you could definitely go and say, hey, if you got to decide, it's people like to say the cap is crap, but especially I say if the cap forces you to make choices. Okay, I don't think you can build a perfect team.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and especially with a 17-game season. All
Yeah.
right, and the Rams have to be thankful this wasn't an 18-game season because if there was another game, all right, no Tyler Bigbie, no OBJ. They probably, if they had to play another game next week, they probably definitely would have got their butts kicked because they wouldn't have anybody left on the town. See, that's the other thing. The downside of going to 18 games is depth matters, and they were running out of players.
Yeah. We saw in the Super Bowl 2 or 3 guys out.
So you can't build a perfect team. So the cap forces you to make choices.
Yeah.
And the Bill's gonna have to make a choice. All right, what that choice is, I'm looking forward to seeing. Do I think that he could do it? Yes, I think he can sign a big name free agent and extend J.C. Jackson. I can get to $66 million in cap space if I make some tough cuts. And the tough cuts I'm talking about is like I'm cutting Devon Godshaw, a Jake Bailey, a Cal Van Noy, a Shaq Mason, and Jonathan Jones. To get to that, I'm making tough cuts. It's possible, but that's the thing. Bill and his front office are making those decisions now. All right, somebody's laying out those options, and he's gonna make that choice.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And we as fans will see. and we'll see what happens. And like for example, somebody tweeted out today. I tweeted out about Ian Rappaport and the Rams, and some guy immediately says the Rams are not going to win the Super Bowl next year. I said, I was like, what? I'm willing to bet last year at this time you didn't think that the Bengals would be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So things happen. So I don't know how confident you can show what's going to happen right now and go in the future.
Yeah, no, and the Rams has more than 20 million. Let's see if they lose Aaron Donald, McVay, and so on. Let's see, but
they are an interesting. They're a entirely different structure than the Patriots.
Yeah.
They are so top heavy. They have 4 guys on their roster who have a $20 million, at least $20 million cap hit. The Patriots have 0. They have, I think the Patriots have 7 guys who have at least a $10 million cap hit. The Rams have 7 guys who have at least a $15 million cap hit.
It's an all-star.
But they're top heavy, which works out for them because those guys don't hardly ever miss any games.
Yeah.
Right? And their stars play like stars. Like whatever did it really matter? Aaron Donald could have had a $30 million cap number. It wouldn't matter because what he did in the game.
Yeah.
If you're an elite player and you play your cap number, it doesn't matter how high it is, as long as you play to your level of your cap number.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's worth whatever cap number he is. I forgot what it was, but he's one of those players. The same thing with Brady. And if you play to the level like Josh Allen, if he's going to eventually have cap numbers in the $30 to $40 million range, right? If he plays that level, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if you're a player who elevates the play of your teammates, then you become a bargain, even if you're a $30 million player.
Yeah.
Or $40 million player.
Yeah, this is clear. It's another way also for Rams. It's for another podcast. The way they have managed the team is unbelievable outside of the box, and it's another way to do a team. This is clear. And the Bengals too. So it's another example. They were a very bad team last year, and they have created an spectacular defense with free agents.
By spending on free agency.
And
spending in free agency because they never used to.
Yeah.
If as much, I'll say this just to jump off. People complain about the Patriots being cheap. All right. You can't say that and then when the Bengals have never just started going to free agency. Bob Kraft has always spent money in free agency. He might not have spent as much money as you liked, but compared to some of his other owners, he has spent in free agency.
Yeah, zero.
Like the Bengals fans should be happy they made it to the Super Bowl, but it'll also be like, oh my gosh, what have we been doing? Why haven't we been doing this earlier?
Yeah. They have put in a lot of changes in the defense.
Yeah.
They have overpaid to get some free agents because it was the Bengals and it was a bad team last year. Let's see. The future will be brighter for them. Let's see. So it should be cheaper. Should be cheaper this year buying. Clear.
Yeah, because people. That's the thing about winning.
Yeah.
Because winning attracts. If you're a winning team, players want to play on your team.
Yeah.
Like the thing, like OBJ, he could have signed
with us.
Teams.
With us even.
Yeah, even because his deal, the Patriots could have fit his deal under the cap. All right. That he signed with the Rams. He signed with the Rams because he thought that was the best chance for him to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. And the funny thing is, the Rams. We're talking about the Rams way too much on our Patriots podcast. Other teams could have claimed him on waivers. And then, like the Packers, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Jaguars. They chose not to. The Rams benefited by teams not being aggressive.
Yeah, clear. Yeah. That's clear. Let's see because the year is going to be different, I think, for the winning teams, at least for the winning teams this year. So there is one question from one of followers in the chat. I think we can join. Coming back to the JC Jackson question.
I don't see the chat. I don't see the question.
No issue. I will read.
Okay.
So is Paco Tabaco is do you think that the other cornerback that will play alongside with JC Jackson will arrive via free agency or via draft? So at the end, you remember.
That's a great question. I think they're gonna draft the JC Jackson's running mate. I think they're gonna draft him.
So
that's a great question. I think they're gonna do a two-pronged. I think they're gonna do a two-pronged approach. I think there are guys in the lower level in the cornerback free agent market that they can sign and then hopefully draft either either they'll use their first draft pick or second round draft pick, and I think it's one of those two guys.
yeah,
my crystal ball can't give me the name. I don't. Right? But that's a great question. I think it's more likely that J.C. Jackson's the counterpart will be a free agent cornerback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was joining with another question I had on my list of questions. So your preference in the first round pick, and it was rating cornerback. So what is your preference?
My preference is I wish I knew what they were going to do with the offensive line.
Okay.
Okay, guys, because the interesting problem for the Patriots is they have Ted Karras, Trent Brown, Isaiah Wynn.
Yeah.
And Shaq Mason. What are you going to do with those four guys?
Yeah.
3 of the 4 guys are 29 years old. Trent Brown, Ted Karras, Shaq Mason, all 29 years old. Isaiah Wynn is a left tackle. A lot of teams need a left tackle.
Yeah.
I cannot come up. I struggle to come up with how much I would pay him in a long-term deal.
Yeah.
Because he might be better off saying, I should play out this year. Hopefully I play well, stay healthy this year, and then hit free agency in 2023. Right?
And be rich.
And be rich. Saying the Patriots say, I don't know if I want to have you on my cap at $10.43 million, $1.3 million. I might be able to trade you because there are a lot of teams who need offensive tackles. And I hate to say this, the Rams, I wish they had draft picks.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Whitworth is going to probably retire. Isaiah Wynn would seem to be a perfect fit for them.
Yeah.
They don't have any draft picks.
Yeah.
So so you have to, if I thought they have their left tackle signed for the future, then I'd probably want to draft the cornerback. All right? Because it's hard to get left tackles in free agency. So I'm doing it more as a positional need in terms of, because I can get a wide receiver in free agency at any time. All right? I can get cornerbacks in free agency at any time.
Yeah.
If you're a good left tackle, if you hit free agency, we're talking $15, $20 million. Like even the 30-year-old guys are getting that kind of money. Trent Brown, who has proven that you can't trust him to be available for all 17 games. Still, people think he's going to get a deal that's in the $10 million range. Like a 2-year deal at for $20 million. I was like, whoa. If I'm Isaiah Wynn and I'm seeing what happens with free agent left tackles, I'm like, I'll take a chance I can stay healthy all 17 games this year in free agency. So I'm going to go with left tackle right now because of as a cap guy.
So for the future.
And because I don't know right now how the board's going to end up. All right, right now in March, I don't know what the draft as it runs, but right now I would go left tackle.
So Trent Wynn has contract the last year, but Trent Brown, Isaiah Wynn, sorry. Sorry, yeah. I said Trent, I mixed the name with Trent Brown.
You got me confused. I'm easily confused.
Yeah, because I mixed 2 players, the left and the right hand side. Okay, so Isaiah Wynn is the last year of the contract, but yes. Ted Karras and Trent Brown, I think, is finished. They are free agents. So we need to resign them theoretically, and let's see.
So like if Trent Brown has said that he likes playing here.
Yeah.
All right. I've said actions speak louder than words. If he's willing to sign the same deal he signed last year, I'm all for it. Okay? But if he wants to get paid in the $10 to $15 million range, forget about it. All right? If Ted Karras is tied into what you do with the other guys, all right, he should get a lot of money from someone else. I think that the Bengals would be doing this the service to the team if they're not making him a big offer.
Yeah.
Because he could fill. They have multiple holes in that offensive line, so they could fill him in anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, any interior. So he should be getting an offer from them big time. I don't think. I think Ted Karras is going to be worth more to another team than he is to the Patriots.
Yeah, clear. The only issue for Ted Karras is at the end he's a guy that has some roots for us. Let's see, but
yeah, and he's 29. He's 29 years old. He had probably his best season last year, which is great when you become a free agent. Is to have a great year, so you might as well get paid because this might be the last time he gets paid.
Yeah. This is the issue, but for us maybe because the diversity to have two positions I cannot find. It's not diversity, but I cannot find the
versatile.
Yeah, so to be in two positions, he can be center too, and so on, and this kind of agility to move anywhere of the line in some of the parts. I think maybe as a tackle, I think has played even in precision, if I remember well. So at the end, it's a valuable player for Belichick, but let's see how much valuable, because even we were surprised with David Andrews last year. We thought the same. And it wasn't paid.
They signed Ted Karras and then they signed David Andrews. I was like, what? I was surprised by that. That was the second biggest surprise for me out of free agency is they re-signing David Andrews after they signed it. The biggest surprise was signing Hunter Henry after they signed Geno Smith.
Yeah, this is clear. Another old guy, Hightower. What to do? What to do?
So much younger than I am.
Yeah. The half than me, nearly. Yeah. But let's say it's in the 30s.
31.
Not the best year this year. Coming back, let's see, from the COVID season without playing. So maybe there is something still in the gas, but. What to do with him? For sure, he will not sign any contract with 12 point something million that he has had.
No, he's not. He knows that. We all know that. He's gonna have to. Where the heck? Why do I have a filter on him? Dante Hightower. His cap number last year was $2.399 million, but some of it was incentives that he never earned. All right, so he had gotten paid in cash around $8.7 million. Okay, is he willing to sign a 2-year deal that pays him around that kind of money, and you have a little bit of dead money in 2023? That's what, at best, that's what I would offer him, like a 2-year deal, and I'm willing to eat some dead money in 2023. I don't think he's not going to get. He's one of the older. In fact, he might actually be the oldest free agent right now, linebacker free agent. Or if not, he's one of the oldest. So his value is less, and the fact that the Bill Belichick coaching tree has dried up. There's no Brian Flores, there's no Matt Patricia. So the people you think who might go after him, there's less of those guys around.
Yeah, right? McDaniels only. McDaniels is only right now. The new Dolphins is McDaniels.
Yeah, and wow, because I don't even know. Yeah, so he's gonna be like one of those guys who's gonna take a team-friendly deal, and I think he comes back. I don't know. He's gonna be one. I don't know if he's gonna be most likely out of the linebackers they keep. I'd say, in my plans, I'm not keeping Cal Van Noy because I'm probably gonna keep Dante Hightower instead of him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So one of the guys that he was invited but couldn't attend, he has just joined and he is asking through the chat that how much is your crystal ball? It's for a friend to buy one for a friend.
I'll give it away for free. You can have it. It's not working.
No, it's not working. Yeah.
It doesn't work. Miss Tom Brady, Miss Stephon Gilmore. I got the Rams right, winning the Super Bowl. I got that right. I had the Patriots going to the playoffs. Got that right. So maybe I don't know.
Maybe something. Not zero.
That's a little bit of value. Yeah.
Not zero. So what else we have? For example, Johan Williams, one of the of our best friends. We have in Patseps in Patriots España. We have provided him the honor of giving him the worst player of the season, the prize. So and Johan Williams for us is a legend. Such all of the DBs that we have selected in the second round. There is a big list. So Russell Dowling, Tavon Wilson, Jordan Richards, Cyrus Jones, well, a lot of them.
He's in his last. Oh my gosh, he is. He's got a big. He's got to do something soon. I mean, like literally, he's going to be one of the guys that I could see being cut during roster cutdowns.
This is the this is the question.
Traded.
Yeah,
or traded during roster cutdowns. The Patriots cutting him really doesn't create a lot of cap space now, but you could cap space by cutting him. All right, you really don't create a lot, so I think it might be more valuable to keep him on the roster and hope that he shows something
after training camp. You mean? Okay.
At a training camp, you know what I'm saying? Because at best, you're creating about $700,000 in cap space if you trade him or cut him this year in March. All right, but he's not one of those guys. Like I would not be betting. Like I would not bet that he's on the roster. Like if you were to pencil in your week one roster, if you were to create one, he'd be in pencil and you'd be ready to erase at any time. So he's one of those guys whose spots is not a lock. He's definitely not a lock.
Okay, so in terms of cap space, you don't make any move.
It's if I need $700,000 cap space, I'll probably cut him. I don't need it right now, so
okay.
It's not. I'm willing to wait on him.
Yeah.
I'm willing to wait on him, especially because he plays a position that I don't have a lot of cornerbacks in.
No, we don't have it. We don't have. Yeah, clear.
So I'm willing to wait.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, because football is you have so many injuries, you don't know. Why cut him now and then maybe you suffer a lot of injuries during training camp and then you don't have them.
Yeah, maybe. But I think we can see very less improving than expected from a guy that you have paid a very high second round pick, even going up. So
he's still relatively cheap. Like Miles Bryant has a better chance of being on the roster than Joanne Williams.
Yeah. Miles Bryant earns his position over him at the early stages, at the latest stages of the season. This is clear. Joining one idea that I have heard, I could not remember really which is the podcast from the US, but this is not my idea, but I heard we have Hightower, we have David McCourty, we have all of the OL guys that we have been talking about. So there are still in the latest stages of the career, some guys that were on the Patriots 3-4 years ago. They win everything. In general, what do you think that Belichick could do if they are thinking to put it completely out, let's say, to change everything and to move forward from this past? Or do you think that depending on the guy, Hightower, maybe McCourty, some guy on the OEL or something like that could stay?
Okay, so So I'm looking at the free agents, all right, and the free agents and the free agent list. They got several guys on that list who've won multiple Super Bowls with the Patriots. Okay, so you got Devin McCourty, you got Matthew Slater, you got Brandon King, you got Brandon Bolden, you got James White, you got Ted Karras, you got Trent Brown who won one, you got J.C. Jackson, you got Dante Hightower, you got Bentley, you got Collins. All right, they have a lot of these free agents that they have won Super Bowls with the Patriots. All right, in fact, I'm not trying to think who hasn't won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Who's a free agent? True Fumagalli, Kyle Davis. Hey, I think out of the 14 frame, that's how good this team has been.
Yeah.
I think out of the free agents, is only True Fumagalli and Kyle Davis hasn't won a Super Bowl with them. Maybe Nick. Wait. Yeah. So that's how. I mean, they're gonna have to get younger, and they're gonna get younger.
Yeah.
I don't. Each team every year you get younger because you have to make room for the draft picks. I think they're gonna sign all these guys gonna come back? No. We can go over who I think is gonna. If you want.
No.
Like we can go over each free agent. Do I think they come back? If you, yes or no? I don't. So we could do that if you want. Yeah, that's a great question. It's inevitable. Roster turnover in the NFL is inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't think that Bill's going to keep a player just because of what they did in the past. Bill tends to go for what the player can do for me going forward.
Yeah, this is clear.
He's been one of his secrets is he's been really good at getting a player a year too
before.
early than a year too late.
Yeah.
So I respectfully disagree with that person who thinks he's going to keep on these players just because.
No. This is why I was asking, and when I heard this issue, I was agree because I think that the future is maybe turning back this page, and changing the team more even than last year. And
this year, I think they're gonna try to make this a Mac Jones team.
Yeah.
I think this is. I mean, you got. I'm a big Mac Jones fan. All right. I think you're gonna try to make him better by improving. He's gonna work out like crazy this year. He is gonna show, blah blah blah, and I think they're gonna try to put more talent around him. And I think some of the guys that you're gonna try to get younger and younger and younger. It makes sense if you're gonna go with a young quarterback. You want to build a core around him.
Yeah, and at the end, you have been a continuity or some kind of continuity from the Tom Brady era.
Yeah.
The way forward, offensive coordinator, even the defensive player, special teams, and so on and so on. And currently, maybe there is something that, or most things needs to be changed and to adapt because a new player is on the team, and we need to adapt to a different kind of player. That is Mike Jones. It's not Tom Brady. So.
Right. And when you have, I think he's the guy. All right. I think he's the quarterback of their future, which means you're allowed to. You then have the flexibility of building not only a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 7-year plan for the team. All right. So you can do. I think that you do that. You build. You're gonna say, hey. We know in a couple of years we probably might want to extend him. Who are the players we want to build around him?
Yeah. Clear. I think they are going to focus on a rebuilding, even not so spectacular that last year, but it's a rebuilding coming down or turning down the page from some of the guys from the old times. You have been reading the free agents. Who one you will select, one on each side, defensive and offensive, and you will do in defensive side. Please don't use J.C. Jackson because it's so obvious. But choose one on your.
Okay. Defensive free agents that I want back. It'd be. Jeez, out of the guys there, it'd have to be. It's either Devin or Dante. I'd go with Devin over Dante Hightower. I'd rather. If I had to pick one of the two, it'd be out of the defensive free agents. I'd pick Devin McCourty over Dante Hightower, even though he's older. It's just because
Single high. You can have single high. So it's
yeah. I like the flexibility. I like the roster construction with Devin McCourty better than I like Dante Hightower. Offensive guys, oh my gosh, there ain't really that many. I mean, I would love to get James White back because he's a great third down weapon, and you can sign him to a really cheap deal.
Yeah.
So he's my guy they really don't have they only have 5 free agents who are on the offensive side: Brian Horter, Brandon Bolden, James White, Troy Fumagalli, and Ted Garris. Out of those 5, it's got to for me it's James White.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and Trent Brown. Okay, sorry, 6. Right, and then a defensive free agents are J.C. Jackson, Kyle Davis, Dante Hightower, Dwan Bentley, Jamie Collins, Devin McCourty. And out of the one I want the most back, it'd be Devin McCourty.
Yeah.
And then out of the 3 special teamers is Nick Folk, Matthew Slater, Brendan King. Oh my gosh, I love Matthew Slater, but I was surprised to say here that he wanted to come back. But I still would. Oh, I can't even say that. Okay, I'm not gonna say that.
It would.
I can't pick against Matthew Slater.
Yeah.
I should say Nick Folk, but I can't pick against Matthew Slater.
Nah, I think we'll go to a kicker. I think Evan McPherson. I think we will stall in the 4th round. If he has achieved the 5th, I think it will be ours. But let's see. So one of the questions, I think we made it also 2 years ago, and in Spain, draft night is starting very late. I think it's 8 or 9, something like that. So it's very late here in Spain. You need to wait for the Patriots draft pick to I don't know 2 or 3 in the morning, and
God bless you.
yeah, and at the end you trade down. You know what I mean?
That's awful.
So what about this possibility? Because I think with this so many low picks could be a real issue this year.
You know what? I was just thinking. I was reading the Lions have 32 and 34. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look. I just thought about today because I was looking at what they had in draft picks, and I didn't have a chance to look it up. I don't know if 32 and 34 are equal to 21.
Ah, you mean
I don't know.
because of
because maybe the Lions would want to trade up from 32 and also then include 34 in their pick. I don't know if that's a possibility.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if that's a fair trade. I didn't have a chance to look.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's more likely because of the lack of draft picks as of now, right, that the Patriots trade down.
Yeah.
Then trade up in the 2000 in the draft. God bless you. I would expect to trade down. I would not stay up for this.
So using
now, I would trade down. I would plan on a trade down.
So using your crystal ball, your recommendation is go to bed and don't wait. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So the draft picks but at the end, I don't know if you have any idea from previous year, but we are only you have mentioned previously 58 players under contract right now.
Yeah.
So and we have only 6 draft picks, and maybe we can pick 10, 12 undrafted. I don't know, but it's a big margin between currently to 90. I mean, or do you think that we are going to trade down and make a lot of picks out of the 1st or 2nd round?
This is what they're gonna probably end up doing. So they got 58 players signed. They're gonna probably cut. Let's go back to cap savings. My cap savings tab. All right. Okay. Let's see how many I think they're actually gonna cut. Let's say they cut 3 players: Kyle Van Noy, Henry Anderson, and N'Keal Harry. Okay. Let's say they trade a couple of players like a Gerard Stidham and Chase Winovich. So that gets it down to about 53 players. You sign a couple of your free agents. You sign a couple of free agents from the other teams. All right? Then you start signing players who got released from other teams. That gets you probably about to 65. You draft about 8 players. That gets you 73. You probably sign somewhere between 12 to 20 undrafted free agents after the draft instead of signing one. They'll sign a lot of players, a lot of street free agents during the season, during the off season, who are going to count very little, if anything, against the cap. I probably would say they're going to probably sign. They signed 25 last year, and we're not including the. I'm going to say they'll probably sign 20, but not probably 8 of them are not going to be at the very minimum of the deals.
Yeah.
I say they say 12. Yeah, I think they're going to have way more undrafted free agents because I heard than they did last. They only had one last year, Quinn O'Neill. I think they're going to try to sign a whole bunch of undrafted free agents, and that, in my opinion, that's the smart thing to do because you want to have a couple of guys make that team to then beat out players who are more expensive.
Yeah. This is why I asked, because I thought because of the cap and the quantity of players, it seems.
No, they have plenty. After you get to 51, you could sign players like any guy to like a rookie deal. It doesn't count against the cap.
Yeah.
Like Trey Nixon, he doesn't count against the cap. 0 right now against the cap.
Yeah.
He's got a rookie salary. He's not in the top 51, so you could sign a player to a $705,000 salary, and he doesn't count against the cap. So you could sign a whole bunch of those players. And even if you sign him to like a little like give him a $10,000 signing bonus, $10,000 when the cap is over $200 million is insignificant.
Yeah.
So they're gonna sign a whole bunch of guys. Not all 90 guys gonna make. We all know that all 90 guys not gonna make the roster, and not everyone's gonna know every 90 players on the roster. It is what it is. I mean, people don't even have some of my most frequent questions on Twitter is how much does Dante Hightower count against the cap? He's not even signed for this year.
Yeah. It's 0. It's 0.
So I think someone asked you that.
Yeah.
It was about Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, those guys don't have any dead money because they were just signed for last year.
We had this question, and I checked because I show your picture of the dead money, and it's basically Patrick Chan contract, and that's all in the big big account. So
it's just basically Patrick Chan is like not 80% of the dead money.
Yeah. So the renewal for Patrick Chan last year, I think it was also something that I was not expecting. So. And also a 2-year deal.
I got that right. Yeah. But first of all, I got that right.
Works.
That was when I got, because I said that in early. I remember this. Somebody had asked me this about the opt-outs, and I said I only expected 2 of the opt-outs to make it onto the roster. I had Bolden and Hightower, and I got that right. I didn't say Chung.
Yeah.
I didn't have Chung.
Yeah. So Xavi, another guy that is in the podcast.
I remember him.
It's asking us to take advantage of Max rookie contract. Which side of the field you think that they are going to focus on the rebuild? Because the offense, I think we put a lot of people there, but the defense, let's say, has more problems maybe because of the depth.
I think they're going to focus on where the bigger problems is. You can't. I think in a division in a division where you have Josh Allen, and where Josh Allen was easily the best player on the field the last 2 times you played him.
Yeah.
Right. In a conference where you have a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert, a Patrick Mahomes, maybe Trevor Lawrence becomes good. All right. You need to be able to stop the ball. They have weaknesses on the defense. I think that's where they're going to end up. but I also don't think that I think the Patriots have the capability to address both sides of the issues. I don't think they'll be able to completely fix both sides of the issues in 1 year. Mm-hmm. All right. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's fair for fans to think the Patriots, any team, can have a build a perfect team. All right. You could they said super teams, right? The Eagles supposedly built a super team in the early 2000s, whatever. I can't remember when Andy Reid was there. All right, it wasn't a super team. All right, the Rams, they looked like a super team, but at the end of the day, they really wasn't a super team. Yeah. They just had They had at the end they just happened to have a healthy team, and they played a team whose offensive line stunk. I don't know why Sean McVay kept on running the ball. All right, they should have blown out the Bengals, but okay, all right, okay. But you can't build a super team. I think the Patriots can do both, fix both. I think that at the end of the day, if I was to guess how much money they're going to spend versus on one side or the other, I think they're going to spend more on defense than on offense. If I was to guess right now, I think they're going to spend more draft picks on the offense than on defense.
Yeah, I
think they could address both sides of the issue. It's not, for me, it's not an either or.
Yeah, no, I think so. This is what we have said previously. I'm expecting a free agency with quantity, maybe not so big names or quality or big names, let's say.
Right. Like last year, I said that the Patriots would be able to do what they did in 2001, which was have a lot of free agents, and they also had the advantage to be able to spend a lot of money on free agents. I think this year is going to be maybe one or two big signings, and then a lot of trying to middle depth guys.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and I think from a team that's a playoff team with a rookie quarterback who I expect to get better. That's all I'm asking for. And I'll say this, and I said this before on other podcasts. I don't think there's a free agent out there that can make this team better than an improved Mac Jones. I think an improved Mac Jones will help this team much more than any free agent will.
Yeah, but linking with Mac Jones and Mac Jones situation and the second year of a quarterback and all the situation of the offensive coordination or offensive coaches and so on and so on. Do you think that this is going to be affecting? So I have some concerns for the future for this year.
Everyone should have this. It's not a great comfort feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's not a warm, fuzzy feeling to have that this situation. But it's the nature of football. All right? It's to be expected. Top roster turnover, coaching turnover is not the best situation for Mac Jones, but he has to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right? And then me right now, me saying like I'm just gonna say I'm an optimist. He's gonna do what he's gonna get better. Me worried about it now is not going to change what actually happens on the field.
Yeah.
Okay? Us worrying about it right now is not going to change what actually happens on the field. So there's no point in it.
Yeah, clear. It's 7 months, so let's see what is happening.
Really, 7 months. I can't imagine. Please, folks, do not spend your time worrying about what Mac Jones do for the next 7 months, please.
Yeah. So we can be blind and in 7 months come back and see how they play. We hopefully no injuries and good training camp, but that's all.
Yeah, injuries is such an important part.
Yeah. So we have had a lot of draft picks in the last years, like Winovich, Uche, Jennings, this kind of hybrid, let's say, outside linebackers, defensive end, but are not defensive end, but at the end they are not playing a lot. So we
They're
know
not. They're
no.
not.
So Winovich, when it's on the camp, it seems on the field. It seems that it is okay, it's good, but I don't know why they have some concerns. I think Belichick with him. Uche, for me, it's good, and I was expecting a lot this year, but he's not playing more than 3 down, pass rush, and so on. Jennings, the injuries, and so on and so on. Is there some insight there in the US, in the East Coast?
I don't know. I
Why?
don't
What
know.
is happening there in this situation?
You tell me. I have no idea. Mike Reese. I'll say this. Mike Reese writes a piece about this, all right, in which he is connected to the Patriots, all right. So he has a reason to write this, and I'm like, wow. So I went back and I went back and I looked, and I'll bring it up. Let me bring it. I don't. Of course, like, the one spreadsheet I didn't have is open is this one. Is that one? Right? Hold on a minute.
So
So
that at the end there are
I keep track of Winovich's traded playing time. All right, 27% in 2019 went up to 58% in 2020, 8.5% in 2021. He had more, so he only played in 92 snaps under defense last year. 92 snaps. That's like 2 games worth for the. I was like, holy cow. He only played snaps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 out of 9 regular season games. Eight out of 9 regular season games he played snaps. So the other guys he was inactive or did not play. He might have been active or did not play a snap on it. I don't know why. They did not want him to field. They did not want Josh Uche on the field. They need to. That's why he's one of my guys. I think that they're gonna trade him to get another draft pick.
yeah, this is my feeling.
Because not because for the cap space, because he creates very little cap space with a trade, because he's at the very minimum salary. All right, for a guy, it's just because I don't think it's a fit, and I don't know why it is, but they have to figure out why that's not it. And that's why I think one of the guys they will try, one of the free agents they'll probably try to get, a player they try to get is someone who plays the edge position. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because it's not working out. He's not working out for him. And then it's like, holy cow, because he had a chance to raise his salary from $965,000 last year to this year to $3.9 million. He played like 30% of the snaps or 35% of the snaps.
Yep.
He didn't even come close. That's why I kept track of him, because he had a chance to raise his salary. All right. He didn't even come close.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know why. It's one of those things that at the end of the day they must not trust him and to do their job. They do. It's you can't. I don't know. We can't speak to the coaches and they won't tell us. But you can see what their actions tell us.
Yeah,
that they don't trust them. You can. Their actions tell us more than the words.
Yeah, clear.
They don't trust them.
Yeah, but
And we don't know why.
yeah, okay. So, but at the end of the day, we have a lot of this kind of linebackers.
Yeah.
The ones that have been playing are free agents like Collins, like Van Noy, like Hightower.
Yeah.
And the ones that are staying are the ones that they don't have the trust of Belichick or has been injured.
Or you're going to hope that they play. Like they have... where's my other one?
McGrone or Macmillan and so on. So at the end has been injured.
Yeah, you got to hope that those guys, the linebackers you have, so they have linebackers, Cameron McGrone, Terez Hall, Raquan McMillan, Cal Van Noy, edge rushers, you got Dietrich Wise, Matthew Judon, Ronnie Perkins. We hardly ever saw him. All right? Josh Uche, Anthony Jennings. Hopefully he comes back for injury. Chase Winovich. So you have some young talent on. Supposedly you have young players. We just don't know if they can show the talent on the field.
Yeah, but usually when in the past when Hightower came after Mayo, he started playing in the second
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Trey Flowers after the injury of first year, he started playing in second year. Ninkovic, all of the players in the
Yeah.
past. So there was a very good player like Chandler Jones, for example, and after that it came Trey Flowers. So there were always like a kind of join, a chain, and you move from one to another without any split. But currently, this seems that it's not working in the same way. I don't know why, but it's not working.
We gotta. Yeah, they gotta figure that out, and especially in when you're playing Josh Allen, because Josh Allen stretches the field vertically and horizontally.
Yeah. We have this issue. This is clear.
Yeah.
So I will ask you the last question if I don't have
Okay.
anything else on the chat, and because I think we have around 1 hour and a half, and I think you're not used to have so much chat. The ones
I talk a lot.
yeah.
I talk a lot. I'm fine.
So the,
I did drink a lot of water.
yeah. The ones I heard you, it's in the US is around half an hour, 25 minutes, something like that. So it's the so.
Yeah, they people know I like to talk about the cap a lot, so they try to keep me short time. If this is open ended, I will talk forever. I talk so much. True story. I had cataract surgery on my left eye the other day, and I was talking so much during the surgery they gave me more anesthesia to stop me talking.
Okay. But yeah, you are okay? Everything okay?
I'm okay. I'm getting used to it. That's like I don't know if you can see. I had to pop up. This is lens. I popped out the lens.
Yeah. Okay.
This lens on my right eye is still in there.
Okay. So it's Patriots has selected Germany as preferable country, and we are pissed off about that. Why not us? Why not Spain? It's on the other way around. Is Miami deciding to work as a preferable with Spain? Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense because of the Cuban thing.
Yeah.
You're asking me to speak for the NFL. I am the least. I do not like the NFL as an organization. So I do not like speaking for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big. I understand. I've heard. I guess it makes sense because the Patriots are. Whatever. I can't make sense of that. It's the business. Whatever they think is best for the business, they will do.
Yeah, in our discussion, in the internal discussion, was the same approach. Jacob Johnson is more business, is more money in Germany than in Spain.
They haven't signed him yet.
Yeah.
Which is surprised, but I guess the Lions. The Lions just signed the guy who's in the same boat, a fullback who's going to be a restricted free agent like Jacob Johnson go, and then probably the Patriots just say, we'll just copy that deal and boom, done with.
Yeah. And I'm expecting to be signed because they have been trying to put 2 or 3 different fullbacks in the last 2 years. None of them has worked. So, and it seems that it's increasing his performance. So I think let's see. So
he's getting better each year.
Yeah, this is clear. So thank you so much, Miguel. So you can find him, in Twitter, @PatsCap. You have also in here, where is the camp? Here, you have also where he is supporting, and his code is Habitat for Humanity. They are helping to build some houses. So please check out the profile. You have the link in his Twitter support to support his.
And they take money from everywhere, all international.
Yeah.
Spain money is good. It's all good. It's converted. It's all good.
Yeah, I have tried and it works from Spain. So you can do it.
God bless you.
You can do it. But one question, because I remember that you have a target 120 or something like that for the end of the year. But you were saying that you were not giving up the Patriots Cup issue if you were not reaching or something like that, or
if I don't reach reach my goal, I said I didn't. I was if I don't reach my goal by the end of this year, I just leave Twitter.
So
But
guys, please.
I just because I have this year. I'll say this. You guys gonna be the first people to know this. All right. I'm gonna lose my job, my full-time job, at the end of March.
Sorry for that.
Okay, so for me, I can't justify spending my time on my hobby while I'm instead of looking for a full-time job, unless I actually accomplish my goal of raising money. All right. So if I fail to my goal of reaching the goal, I just might as well leave Twitter.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be reminded of a failure. If I can't reach my goal, I might as well just leave. I have to justify. I can't justify to my wife the time I spend on my hobby when I need to find a job.
This is clear.
Right? For me to justify that, I need to reach my goal.
Okay. So sorry to hear that news.
It is what it is. It's that I'm getting outsourced. It happens all the time. So my wife and I were lucky not to lose our jobs in the pandemic. So I'm not asking for any sympathy. So
Clear.
Yeah. So I'm fine. I'm getting the severance package. So if you can see my gray hairs, I'll be fine. But I really would appreciate donations to Habitat Humanity. It gives me hope in humanity that the people that we can be kind to each other.
Yeah, this is clear. This is fully clear. We need to make the world happier and easier for everybody. This is clear. So two things from my side. Thank you so much for having your time here for me and for the guys that are watching us. And just wish you all the best for the next months. For sure, you will achieve both. You will have your job back or something that on your side for sure. This is my wish and also the target for your cause. So enjoy. Thank you so much for being here and let's see next year if we can meet again.
Anytime. I love hanging out with you guys. I wish there were the four other guys were there. Folks, I love doing. I go on podcasts all the time, but I much prefer doing video things.
Okay.
I love seeing people's faces.
Yeah. We have been used because of the pandemic, but it's better to see each other. This is clear. So have a nice day and thank you so much for your time. Bye bye.
All right.